Hey, what's up? I'm back for video number 2 of the day. This particular video is for a friend of mine who I will not name because she prefers to remain incognito right now. Doesn't want to go public with anything, and that's totally fine. You know who you are. Hopefully you get to see this. So she was talking about a few things, if I can remember what they were. 3 main ones that I remember she talked about were 1, The Matrix, the movie The Matrix. 2, basically particle physics, quantum physics. What's the root of materiality? And 3, she was talking about Nikola Tesla and the concept of free energy and why everybody's paying money for everything. So, I'll talk a little bit about The Matrix because that's always on my mind anyway. And it sort of relates to my last video, in a way. The Matrix. So she was comparing Neo and the Smiths, the Mr. Smiths, and how they were equal. And she was trying to figure out how this conclusion was arrived at. I think where this came from is just a parallel between basically the computer, which is the Smiths, and the human life, basically, or the organic consciousness, which is represented by Neo. In the movies, in the series, if I remember right, in the last one, Neo and the computer, or the Smiths, come to some sort of an agreement, and they agree to stop fighting each other because they are essentially equal. I don't remember. I thought that Neo was going to get absorbed by the computer or something, but I don't remember the actual conclusion to the movie. Yeah, I don't remember a lot about those movies. I watched them a long time ago. They're fascinating, though. The idea of it's basically transhumanism. It's the idea of the computer and then organic consciousness and what's their relationship to each other. And we're at that stage right now with technology and what is its place in our lives, and how do we manage this relationship to make sure that technological advancements don't take precedence over the human life itself and the beings that are inside of the bodies, the witnesses in the bodies, the organic life, right? So we're dealing with this on a daily basis in this current reality, dealing with what is technology's role. Right now, the human being is not cared for properly, in my opinion, and technology, which is linked with money mainly, they're the same thing. Money is dictating what's happening, and it's not even just money. It is in a sense. Okay, so that's all on the Matrix. I do strongly believe that there are many parallels in this reality to the Matrix. It's not exactly as depicted in there, but there are many things to be learned from watching the Matrix series. So, let's see, what else? Matter and particle physics and the idea of chopping up the matter and going smaller and smaller and deeper until you find the base unit. Originally, as far as I know, the atom itself was believed to be the smallest unit of matter and the smallest unit that could be chopped no further. This was determined by scientists later on to be not true. Matter is still broken up into, or rather, atoms are still composed of smaller units called electrons, neutrons, and positrons? I don't know. What's the positive ion called? It's been a long time since I was looking at physics and particles. But anyway, those are further broken down into quanta, or rather what appeared to be waves versus particles at the smallest level that we can observe with a super strong magnifying glass or a digital zoom. And at that level, it starts breaking down, and they don't follow the normal laws of physics. They kind of do their own thing, and you have this whole double split experiment, and the idea that the observation of what is supposed to be matter at that level changes the structure. If it's observed, it's I forget which way it was, but one way, if it's observed, it's a particle, and if it's not observed, it's a wave. Even that theory is full of sort of absurdities, because you're either observing it directly or you're observing it through a mechanical recording device, so it's still being observed both ways. So that argument is kind of silly to me in the first place. But what I like about quantum physics is that it eludes the scientists, and they can't really explain it. They have things like they have particles appearing in and out of existence, and they have a particle here that moves exactly the same time as a particle thousands of miles away, and they're directly linked somehow, and you go into black holes and all kinds of crazy stuff, which I like. The less humans think they have a very firm grasp on what's going on, the more the more in tune they're going to be with the reality, and not trying to control and manipulate and create monsters like we're doing right now. So that's a good thing, in my opinion. Yeah. As far as what's the smallest, most indivisible unit of matter, I don't even believe in that at all. It's just observation of energy waves. Matter is just energy waves as far as I'm concerned, and it's not real in any sense other than that it's an experiential observation that we are able to create patterns for our minds with. And whether or not, I mean, as far as I know, the reality itself is infinite, and the same goes for the apparent particles and matter and physical forms that make up this apparent 3D reality of ours. So I'm not too concerned about what's the smallest unit of matter, because that's not relevant to me. It's interesting, theories are interesting, but there are more relevant issues that we can deal with as humans than what's the smallest thing. As far as I know, it's infinite both ways. If you had the magnifying power, you never reach the bottom end, and if you had the power of expansion outside of, the world and then the stars and the universe, flat Earth aside, I think it's infinite in and out. So I don't think you're ever going to reach a final conclusion. And the last part, as far as Nikola Tesla and free energy, yeah, the money game and the control game is just something that's being played. So entities can have power in this paradigm. Yeah, if the control aspect is only able to exist with measurement, so it's completely connected with time. Time is money, hours, Horus, that whole thing. The clock. We were talking about how see the lock on your prison is time, is the clock. So yeah, you can only be charged for something that is measured, and only an identified thing can be charged. So that's why they have to have your social security number and your birth name and your birth date and all that. Otherwise, they're powerless to charge anything because no identification has been made. And that's up to the individual to either agree to that identification or to drop it, or just say, no, that's not me. They won't be able to find you without the identification because that you isn't there, like I was talking about in my last video. So as far as free energy is concerned, yes, the whole existence is free energy, and it's just organic and pumping shit all over the place by itself. The whole universe is a free energy machine, you know. As far as the particulars of how specific energies are made, electricity or gasoline powered engines, we have the notion that if somebody expends a certain amount of energy that's able to be utilized and turned into a product or some service, then that person ought to be paid. And there comes our idea of money and value systems, caste systems, where the individual falls in society and whether they deserve to eat or to have a home. All of those things come from the naming and identification of certain individuals. So free energy is yeah, it's already there, but the game that we're playing here in the third density, in order for us to have property and in order for us to identify as individuals with birth dates and social security numbers, the rules here are that you got to pay to play, you got to pay to live on the planet, you got to pay to eat, and yeah, those rules just go on, and you don't ever stop paying. It's set to have the individuals paying eternally, as long as they're here and alive, breathing, needing food, needing care, all that stuff. So that's my thoughts on your video that you sent me. Thank you for sending me the video, and I will talk to you later. All right, take care, guys.